Far in the future, humanity had spread across the stars. Massive colony ships carried people to new worlds orbiting distant suns. One of these ships was the Andromeda, headed for a blue planet called New Eden. Jenna stood on the observation deck, staring out at the inky void. New Eden glowed in the distance, a sapphire jewel against the dark tapestry of space. She could hardly believe they were finally approaching journey's end after centuries in cryosleep. "Beautiful, isn't it?" a voice said. Jenna turned to see Lucas, the ruggedly handsome head of colony security. "I can't wait to feel solid ground under my feet and breathe fresh air again," she said, smiling. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship jolted violently. Jenna tumbled to the floor. Emergency lights strobed and panicked colonists ran through the corridors. "All hands to escape pods," the captain's frantic voice boomed over the intercom. "Evacuate immediately this way." Lucas grabbed Jenna's hand and pulled her through the chaos. They made it to an escape pod, and Lucas shoved her inside. But there was only room for one. The ship lurched again, metal screeching. "Get to safety? I'll find another pod," Lucas yelled, slamming the hatch closed. "No way." Jenna pounded on the transparent hatch as the escape pod blasted free of the disintegrating colony ship. Tears streamed down her face as she watched the Andromeda break apart, Lucas still aboard. Hundreds of pods spiraled toward New Eden like glittering seeds scattered on the solar winds. Jenna's pod hit the atmosphere, glowing cherry red. She gripped the harness tight as it shook violently. With a bone-jarring thud, the pod slammed into the ground, skidding to a halt in an alien landscape. The hatch popped open with a hiss. Jenna unstrapped and stepped out onto the strange new world. Twin moons hung in a lavender sky. Towering crystal formations glittered on the horizon. A green-tinted ocean lapped at the shore of pink sand. It was like nothing she had ever seen. Other escape pods littered the beach. Hatches cracked open. Dazed survivors stumbled out, blinking in the dual moonlight. Jenna ran to them, calling out for Lucas, hoping desperately to find him. But he was nowhere to be seen amongst the ragtag group assembling on the beach. A woman in a torn flight suit approached, a gash on her forehead. "I'm Nadia, the Andromeda's navigator," she said. "Did anyone else make it?" Jenna shook her head grimly. "I don't know. My friend Lucas put me in a pod, but he..." Her voice choked up. Nadia put a comforting hand on Jenna's shoulder. "Don't give up hope. There may be other survivors scattered across the planet." An elderly man with a wild beard joined them, still wearing pajamas from cryo. "What happened to the Andromeda?" he asked, eyes haunted. "How could a colony ship just fall apart like that?" "I don't know," Nadia said gravely. "But we need to find shelter and supplies quickly. This world is uncharted. We don't know what dangers it may hold." The bedraggled group of 47 survivors gathered the meager emergency rations and equipment from the pods. They headed inland, making camp in a vast crystal cavern as strange creatures howled in the alien night. As the days turned to weeks, the colonists struggled to survive, foraging for native plants and hunting the docile cryo cattle from the pods. They fashioned a settlement from the escape pod shells and formed a makeshift council to delegate duties and keep the peace. Jenna threw herself into scouting, determined to find Lucas and unravel the mystery of the Andromeda's destruction. She led expeditions to far-flung crash sites, hoping to locate more survivors or wreckage that could provide answers. But the planet held secrets of its own. The crystal formations pulsed with an ethereal energy that made electronics malfunction. Strange lights danced in the night sky. There were whispers among the colonists that they weren't alone, that ghostly figures had been seen wandering the moon's drenched landscape. Months passed and hope of rescue faded. The survivors came to accept New Eden as their permanent home, transforming their ragtag camp into a thriving village. They planted crops, domesticated the native wildlife, and even began families, new children born under alien stars. But Jenna never stopped searching. She ventured further and further afield, driven by an unshakable feeling that Lucas was still out there somewhere. Everything changed the night the lights fell from the sky. Jenna was camped in the shadow of a monolithic crystal spire when fiery streaks cut across the heavens, accompanied by a bone-shaking roar. It was a ship entering the atmosphere, but not one of human design. An alien craft touched down on the plain, organic curves and luminous lines utterly unlike the geometric ships of Earth. A hatch spiraled open and figures emerged, tall and slender, skin glowing with bioluminescent patterns. Jenna observed from the shelter of the crystal spire, heart pounding. One of the aliens held up a device and a hologram flickered to life, a human face Jenna knew as well as her own. It was Lucas, speaking to the aliens in halting clicks and whistles, barely daring to breathe. Jenna edged closer, straining to hear. Lucas was alive, but what was he doing with these extraterrestrials? The colony ship, Lucas said in English, his voice achingly familiar even after all this time. Did you attack it? The lead alien trilled a response, and the device translated, "No, we observe but do not interfere. Your ship suffered a catastrophic reactor failure upon entering the system." "What about the other survivors?" Lucas asked urgently. The alien made a gesture that encompassed the surrounding area. "There are human life signs concentrated in a settlement not far from here. We can take you to them." Jenna's heart leapt. She stepped out from the shadows of the crystal spire. "Lucas," he spun around, eyes going wide. "Jenna, you're alive." They ran to each other, embracing fiercely. Tears streamed down their faces as they babbled disjointed explanations. "I'm so sorry," Lucas said. "My pod was damaged in the evacuation. It knocked me into a coma. When I woke up, I was on the alien ship. They saved me." Jenna, the lead alien, approached, its melodic voice translated by the device. "Your people are welcome here. This planet is our ancestral home, but we have not dwelled here for eons. There is room for both our kinds to coexist in harmony." Hand in hand, Jenna and Lucas followed the aliens back to the village. A stunned crowd gathered as the human and extraterrestrial contingents arrived. In the days that followed, the aliens shared their knowledge and technology. They showed the colonists how to tap into the planet's crystal energy network, powering a new generation of machines and medicines. The two species worked side by side to build a sprawling city that was a marvel of human and alien ingenuity combined. As the years passed, more colony ships arrived, guided to the planet by the alien subspace beacons. New Eden became a shining example of interspecies cooperation, a hub of culture, scientific progress, and enduring peace. And on a hill overlooking the city stood a statue of two figures hand in hand, one human, one alien. The inscription simply reads, "Stronger together amongst the stars." It was a testament to Jenna, Lucas, and the bonds between worlds that had forged a new future for both their peoples. Under unfamiliar stars, on an alien world that had become home, Jenna smiled. The Andromeda had fallen, but from its ashes something far greater had risen, a union of human and extraterrestrial, an alliance that would reshape the cosmos. It was only the beginning of their starbound legacy, a century passed in a blur of progress and unity. New Eden prospered under the joint leadership of the human and alien councils. The city became a metropolis, crystalline towers soaring alongside sprawling parks and gardens. Starships of both human and extraterrestrial design traveled between the worlds, fostering trade, diplomacy, and a profound exchange of knowledge. Jenna and Lucas, now revered elders, watched with pride as new generations were born into this era of unprecedented peace and cooperation. Their own children and grandchildren walked hand in hand with the bioluminescent youth of their alien neighbors. The once stark differences now celebrated as a source of shared strength. But even as New Eden flourished, whispers began to circulate of a growing threat in the depths of space. Ships disappeared without a trace. Strange energy signatures were detected at the fringes of known space. Rumors spread of an ancient, malevolent force stirring from millennia of slumber. As reports grew more alarming, the council convened an emergency meeting. The alien ambassador, a descendant of those first fateful visitors, stepped forward. "Our oldest myths speak of an enemy that once ravaged the cosmos," they said, bioluminescent patterns pulsing with agitation. "The Voidbringers, a race that consumed stars and snuffed out life wherever they found it. It was they who drove our ancestors from this planet eons ago." A hush fell over the chamber. Jenna leaned forward, a sense of icy dread settling in her bones. "And you believe they've returned?" The ambassador nodded gravely. "We must prepare for the worst." In the months that followed, New Eden became a hive of activity. Human and alien scientists worked tirelessly to develop new weapons and defenses, drawing upon the planet's unique crystal technology. Starships were retrofitted for war, their hulls gleaming with advanced shielding and pulsing with destructive energies. Jenna and Lucas, though aged, refused to sit idle. They volunteered to lead a diplomatic mission to gather allies from other star systems. As their ship departed, crowds gathered to see them off, a sea of human and alien faces united in hope and determination. The journey was long and perilous. They navigated through treacherous asteroid fields and negotiated with wary alien races. Some refused to believe the threat was real. Others were too fearful to stand against the Voidbringers. But a brave few pledged their support. their ships joining the growing fleet. As they journeyed deeper into uncharted space, the darkness seemed to grow thicker, the stars dimmer. Jenna stared out the viewport, a profound unease settling over her. "Do you feel it?" she whispered to Lucas. "It's as if the void itself is watching us." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. On the view screen, a massive, jagged craft emerged from the darkness, blotting out the stars. It pulsed with a sickly, violet light, tendrils of energy lashing out to ensnare nearby vessels. "Evasive maneuvers," Lucas shouted. But it was too late. The tendrils latched onto their ship, dragging them towards the yawning maw of the Voidbringer craft. In a desperate gamble, Jenna and Lucas launched themselves towards the airlock, suits sealed against the vacuum of space. They tumbled into the void just as their ship was crushed, the wreckage drawn into the Voidbringer's hull. Tethered together, they drifted amongst the stars, the battle raging around them. Allied ships swarmed the Voidbringer, crystal-enhanced weapons flaring. But the enemy craft seemed to absorb the energy, growing larger and more terrible with each passing moment. Jenna's suit communicator crackled to life. It was the alien ambassador, their voice strained. "The Voidbringer is heading for New Eden. We can't stop it. You must warn them." With a burst from their suit thrusters, Jenna and Lucas propelled themselves towards the nearest Allied ship. They were brought aboard, battered but alive, their hearts heavy with the weight of impending catastrophe. The journey back to New Eden was a blur of desperation and dread. When they arrived, they found the planet already in chaos. The Voidbringer loomed in the sky, tendrils of darkness lashing out to consume the crystal spires and vibrant cities. But the people of New Eden did not cower. United, human and alien stood side by side, wielding weapons powered by the planet's own energies. They fought with the courage of those who had everything to lose and everything to protect. In the heart of the city, Jenna and Lucas joined hands, their free hands raised towards the sky. Around them, others followed suit, forming a vast circle that spanned the entire metropolis. As one, they began to chant, ancient human prayers intertwining with alien hymns. The crystal spires began to glow, pulsing in time with their united voices. Beams of pure, radiant energy shot into the sky, converging on the Voidbringer. The creature shuddered, its tendrils withering under the onslaught. Brighter and brighter the light grew, until it was a blazing, purifying force. The Voidbringer let out a final, piercing shriek, and then shattered into a million shards of darkness, disintegrating in the brilliance. As the light faded, a profound silence settled over New Eden. The skies cleared, the stars shining down upon a world that had faced the abyss and emerged unbroken. In the aftermath, as the people of New Eden began to rebuild, Jenna and Lucas stood atop the hill once more, gazing out over the city they had helped to save. Their hair was gray, their faces lined with the passages of time, but their eyes shone with the same fierce love and determination as the day they had first set foot on this alien soil. "We did it," Jenna whispered, leaning her head on Lucas's shoulder. Together, Lucas smiled, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "As we always have, as we always will." Hand in hand, they turned to face the future, ready for whatever new adventures the stars might bring. For they knew that no matter the trials, no matter the darkness, they would always have each other, and the unbreakable bonds of a universe united. And so, under the watchful gaze of the twin moons, the story of New Eden continued, a tale of love, resilience, and the enduring power of unity in the face of the unknown. It was a legacy that would endure long after Jenna and Lucas had become stardust themselves, a testament to the indomitable spirit of all those who dared to dream beyond the stars. As the years turned into decades, New Eden and its allies flourished in an era of unprecedented peace and cooperation. The Voidbringers had been defeated, their darkness banished to the farthest reaches of space. The alliance forged in the crucible of war now turned its efforts towards exploration, diplomacy, and the betterment of all sentient life. Jenna and Lucas, now revered as the saviors of New Eden, watched with pride as their descendants took to the stars. Human and alien stood side by side on the bridges of sleek, crystal-powered starships, charting new routes through the cosmos and establishing outposts on distant worlds. But even as the alliance prospered, Jenna couldn't shake a lingering sense of unease. She often found herself staring up at the stars, searching for any hint of the darkness that had once threatened to consume them all. One evening, as the twin moons cast a silvery glow over the tranquil city, Jenna's contemplation was interrupted by a sudden, urgent message from the Council. An unknown energy signature had been detected at the edge of Allied space, a pulsing, writhing anomaly unlike anything they had encountered before. Jenna and Lucas, their instincts honed by a lifetime of challenges, knew they couldn't ignore this potential threat. Despite their age, they volunteered to lead an expedition to investigate, boarding a state-of-the-art research vessel alongside a team of the Alliance's brightest scientists and most skilled warriors. As they approached the anomaly, the ship's sensors began to behave erratically. Screens flickered, displays glitched, and an eerie, pulsing hum resonated through the hull. Jenna felt a chill run down her spine, a primal recognition of something ancient and unspeakably powerful. Suddenly, the anomaly surged, tendrils of energy lashing out to ensnare the ship. The crew fought valiantly, but their weapons and defenses were useless against this strange, incorporeal force. One by one, they were pulled into the heart of the maelstrom, their screams echoing over the comm channels before being abruptly silenced. Jenna and Lucas, hand in hand, faced the approaching energy storm with grim determination. They had faced the void before and emerged victorious. They would do so again, or perish in the attempt. But as the anomaly engulfed them, something extraordinary happened. Instead of being torn apart, Jenna and Lucas found themselves transported, their minds and essence drawn into a realm beyond physical reality. They found themselves standing in a vast, ethereal expanse, stars and galaxies wheeling overhead in intricate, mesmerizing patterns. Before them stood a being of pure energy, its form shifting and pulsing with the power of 1,000 suns. Jenna Nora and Lucas Valen, the being spoke, its voice a resonant chorus that seemed to echo from the very fabric of the universe. "You have been chosen." Jenna and Lucas exchanged a glance, their hands clasped tightly. Chosen for what? Jenna asked, her voice steady despite the awe and trepidation that threatened to overwhelm her. The being pulsed, its form expanding to encompass the entirety of the cosmic vista. To become the guardians of the cosmos, the shepherds of life and the wardens of peace. Your deeds have echoed across the stars, your love and courage a beacon in the darkness. Now you must ascend to guide and protect all of creation. Lucas stepped forward, his eyes blazing with a fierce, defiant love. And if we refuse, the being seemed to smile, a warmth suffusing the ethereal realm. You misunderstand. This is not a demand, but an offering. A chance to ensure that the peace you fought so hard for endures, that the light you kindled never fades. Jenna and Lucas turned to each other, a lifetime of love and understanding passing between them in a single glance. They had always known that their fates were intertwined, that their journey had been leading to something greater. Hand in hand, they stepped forward, their forms beginning to glow with the same cosmic energy that suffused the being before them. "We accept," they spoke as one, their voices resonating with a power that thrummed through the very fabric of existence. As their physical forms dissolved, their essence merging with the cosmic tapestry, Jenna and Lucas felt their consciousness expand, encompassing the breadth and depth of the universe itself. They saw the past and the future, the birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations. They saw the potential for boundless wonder and the ever-present specter of darkness, the eternal struggle that defined the cosmos itself. And they knew, with a certainty that surpassed all doubt, that this was their destiny, to watch over the universe, to nurture the light and guard against the dark, to ensure that the legacy they had begun on New Eden would endure for all eternity. As they took their place among the stars, the eternal guardians of all that was and all that would ever be, Jenna and Lucas knew that their love, the force that had guided them through every trial and triumph, would be their beacon and their strength. A love that would endure, unbroken and unbounded, until the end of time itself. Thus the tale of Jenna Nora and Lucas Valen became legend, whispered in the tales of 1,000 worlds, a testament to the power of love, courage, and the unbreakable bonds that unite us all. And though the cosmos would continue to turn, empires rising and falling in the endless dance of time, the guardians would remain, watching over the stars and shepherding the light, forever and always. As Jenna and Lucas embraced their new roles as the cosmic guardians, they found themselves traversing the vast expanse of the universe, their essence woven into the very fabric of space and time. They witnessed the birth of new stars, the collision of galaxies, and the intricate dance of life as it evolved and flourished on countless worlds. But even as they marveled at the wonders of creation, they remained vigilant, ever watchful for the signs of encroaching darkness. They knew that the forces of chaos and destruction were always lurking, waiting for the slightest weakness to exploit. On one remote planet, a civilization teetered on the brink of self-annihilation, consumed by hatred and divided by ancient grudges. Jenna and Lucas, their cosmic awareness attuned to the plight of the suffering, manifested among the warring factions, their forms shimmering with celestial light. "Hear us," they spoke in unison, their voices resonating with the power of 1,000 suns. "You stand on the precipice of destruction, blinded by your rage and your fear. But there is another way, a path of unity and understanding." The leaders of the factions, humbled by the presence of the Guardians, laid down their weapons and listened with newfound openness. Jenna and Lucas shared with them the story of New Eden, of the alliance forged between human and alien, of the strength that came from diversity and cooperation. Moved by the Guardians' words, the factions agreed to set aside their differences and work towards a common future. Jenna and Lucas, their cosmic hearts swelling with pride, watched as the once divided civilization began to heal, their cities rebuilt and their people united in purpose. And so it went, across the breadth of the universe. Wherever suffering and strife threatened to overwhelm the light, Jenna and Lucas were there, offering guidance, wisdom, and the eternal reminder that love and unity were the most powerful forces of all. But even as they worked tirelessly to uphold the balance of the cosmos, Jenna and Lucas knew that their greatest challenge was yet to come. For in the deepest recesses of the universe, an ancient evil stirred, a darkness that predated even the Voidbringers and hungered for the annihilation of all that was. The Dark One, a being of pure malevolence and insatiable hunger, had slumbered for eons, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As Jenna and Lucas's influence grew, spreading light and hope across the stars, the Dark One began to awaken, its terrible consciousness seeping into the fabric of reality like a poisonous fog. Jenna and Lucas, their cosmic senses attuned to the growing threat, knew that they must confront this ancient evil before it could consume the universe they had sworn to protect. They gathered their strength, drawing upon the love and courage that had defined their mortal lives, and prepared for the battle that would determine the fate of all existence. In a realm beyond space and time, Jenna and Lucas faced the Dark One, their cosmic forms blazing with the light of 1,000,000 stars. The Dark One, a vortex of swirling, malevolent energy, lashed out with tendrils of pure destruction, seeking to devour the Guardians and extinguish their light forever. But Jenna and Lucas, their love and unity, unbreakable, met the Dark One's assault with a power born of the very essence of creation. They channeled the hopes and dreams of every being that had ever lived, the collective strength of a universe united in defiance of the dark. In a cataclysmic struggle that shook the foundations of reality, Jenna and Lucas battled the Dark One, their cosmic forms intertwined in a dance of light and shadow. They poured all of their essence, all of their love and courage, into a final desperate strike, a supernova of pure, unbridled energy that shattered the Dark One's malevolent core and banished its darkness to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. But the victory was not without cost. As the Dark One dissipated, Jenna and Lucas felt their own cosmic forms beginning to fade, their energy spent in the ultimate act of sacrifice. They knew that their time as the guardians of the universe had come to an end, that the mantle must pass to a new generation of protectors. With the last of their strength, Jenna and Lucas cast their essence out into the cosmos, seeding the stars with the promise of hope and the enduring power of love. They knew that wherever life took root, wherever beings struggled and dreamed and reached for the light, their legacy would endure, a beacon of courage and unity in the face of the eternal dark. And as they faded into the cosmic tapestry, their forms dissolving into stardust and memory, Jenna and Lucas embraced one final time, their love a supernova that lit the universe in a blaze of eternal radiance. They had lived as heroes, as leaders, as the guardians of all that was good and true. And in their final act, they ensured that the light they had kindled would never be extinguished, that the universe would forever remember the power of love and the unbreakable bonds of unity. Thus the tale of Jenna, Nora, and Lucas Valen passed into legend, a story whispered across the stars, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the limitless potential of a universe united. And though the cosmos would continue to turn, new challenges and new heroes rising to meet them, the legacy of the Guardians would endure, a shining beacon of hope and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of love and courage could never be truly extinguished. And so, in the hearts and minds of all who heard their tale, Jenna and Lucas lived on forever and always, the eternal guardians of the stars. As the universe mourned the sacrifice of Jenna and Lucas, their essence scattered across the cosmos, a new generation of guardians emerged from the worlds touched by their light. On New Eden, a young girl named Arya, born under the twin moons and raised on the stories of the great heroes, felt the call of destiny stirring in her heart. Arya trained tirelessly, honing her mind and body, studying the ancient wisdom left behind by Jenna and Lucas. She learned to harness the power of the crystals, to commune with the cosmic energies that flowed through the universe. And when the time came, when a new threat emerged from the depths of the void, Arya stood ready, a beacon of hope and courage in the face of the gathering darkness. Across the stars, other guardians arose, each bearing a fragment of Jenna and Lucas's essence, each imbued with the power of love and unity. There was Zephyr, the Wind Rider of Altair Prime, whose speed and agility were matched only by his unwavering loyalty. There was Nyx, the Shadow Weaver of the Orion Nebula, whose mastery of darkness and light brought balance to the cosmos. And there was Orion, the warrior poet of the Andromeda Galaxy, whose words and deeds inspired 1,000 worlds to rise against the forces of chaos and destruction. Together, this new generation of guardians formed an unbreakable bond, a cosmic alliance forged in the memory of Jenna and Lucas. They traveled the stars, battling threats and bringing hope to the oppressed, their love and courage a shining example to all who witnessed their deeds. And at the center of it all was Arya, the girl from New Eden, who carried the torch of Jenna and Lucas's legacy. She became a legend in her own right, a guardian of extraordinary power and compassion, whose wisdom and grace touched the lives of countless beings across the universe. Years turned to centuries and centuries to millennia, and still the guardians endured, watching over the cosmos and shepherding the light. And though the challenges they faced were great, though the darkness always threatened to encroach, they remained steadfast in their duty, guided by the eternal example of Jenna and Lucas. For the love that had once united a human and an alien, that had transformed two mortal beings into cosmic guardians, now burned bright in the hearts of their successors. It was a love that transcended time and space, a love that could never be extinguished, a love that would endure as long as the stars themselves. And so, the legend of the Guardians lived on, a testament to the power of love and the unbreakable bonds of unity. From the crystal spires of New Eden to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, their story was told and retold, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and courage could light the way to a brighter future. In the end, it was not the power of weapons or the might of armies that kept the universe safe, but the simple, enduring strength of the heart. For in the face of the eternal dark, it was love, and love alone, that would always shine the brightest. And as the stars wheeled overhead, as the cosmos continued its endless dance, the guardians watched and protected, their love a beacon of hope that would guide the universe forevermore.